The Sunday on Close-Up, rising in the polls. Jon Huntsman here to talk about the race to the finish line in the Granite State. Morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh McElveen. Our first guest this morning is investing all of his presidential hopes right here in New Hampshire. And our latest WMUR Granite State poll puts Jon Huntsman on page one, now at 8%. That's 4 times where he was in the last poll. And now just trailing Mitt Romney, Herman Cain, and Ron Paul. And Governor Huntsman, welcome back to the program. Thanks very much.
Josh, great to be with you. Thank you.
Good to see you. All right, so I know the candidates say that they never look at these polls, but you can't help but notice them when they're going in the right direction.
I don't need to look at the polls. I can feel it on the streets. I can sense it in the town hall meetings. Everywhere I go, there's a willingness to get to know us. And when we connect candidate to citizen, people are interested. And so I don't need a poll to tell me that we're moving up. You can sense it in all the meetings.
And you've made no secret about the fact that New Hampshire is very important to you and your campaign hopes. In addition to that, you also pledged to boycott Nevada if they don't move their caucus state. Everybody's aware of the primary shuffle. But in addition to that, you've just made a decision as well.
We've made a decision to forego and boycott the debate. If you're going to boycott Nevada for their, I think, insane attempt at leapfrogging the primary process, which is bad in New Hampshire, bad for American democracy, bad for the candidates who are trying to make some sense out of the pathway forward, you ought to boycott it in total. So we're saying instead of being at the debate on Tuesday night, we're going to be here in the Granite State. We're going to do what people expect us to do. We're going to have town hall meetings. We're going to talk about the issues. We're going to hear out the good people of this state and do it the old-fashioned way.
How much do you think this needs to be a collective effort, though, on the part of all the campaigns to send a message that's saying, what, this is the process, this is how it's been. We need to do what we can collectively to make this work?
Well, I would hope that all the candidates feel the same way about it. Some might be paying lip service, and some might feel that they have a strategic advantage in Nevada, which is taking short-term advantage out of what long-term I think is a disastrous thing for presidential politics. We have a formulation that puts New Hampshire as the first primary state. It's transparent, it's understandable, it's worked in the past. It always produces a pretty good result for the American people. And to throw that into jeopardy really upends the process this late in the game, and it means that we're taking away the opportunity for people to hear out the candidates the time that is needed. It truncates that. I think it steals an element from our democracy, and it's not good. So we're saying no to that. We're going to boycott it in total, Nevada, campaigning and the debate as well, and we'll be right here in the Granite State.
Okay. Also this week in the Granite State, you had a number of the candidates that were here for a debate as well. Herman Cain is, surging in the national polls. What do you make of Herman Cain, especially this 999 plan, which is very catchy, but, I mean, do you think it's good for the overall conversation?
Well, if we're down to soundbite victories, then I think we're in a bad place in terms of presidential politics, because you've got to have substance, you've got to have real ideas, something that is doable with the United States Congress in order for us to move the ball forward. So I say we're in a very tenuous economic position right now. Our economy's hit the wall and we're sucking wind. And instead of sound bites, let's take a look at something that's actually doable. And I put forward a plan that was based on the goals approach, a bipartisan look at what we can do to fix our tax code. I infused in some elements that I did as governor when we created a flat tax. I put it forward, and the Wall Street Journal has come out and said, this is the best tax plan of any of the candidates running by far. So catchy sound bites, I think, can work for a while. And then it's going to be looked at, analyzed, scrutinized, and you're going to be down to those tax plans, those economic revitalization plans that can stand the test of time.
You've talked about the complete overhaul of the tax code, and a lot of the questions that candidates are being asked now is how quickly will this work? How quickly can we get American jobs back? How quickly can we turn the economy around? Well, how quickly would that work?
There's a psychological element to all this, Josh. And to have a president who would be willing to sit down with the Chamber of Commerce, the Manufacturers Alliance, the Business Roundtable, and say, folks, I'm going to ask you to take your capital expenditure dollars that you're planning on investing in different corners of the world, and I'm saying invest it here in our own market. We're going to recreate the manufacturing miracle that always existed in this country. We've lost it in recent years. When I was born, manufacturing was 25% of our GDP base. Now it's 9%. And I'd say, I want your dollars in this market. And in exchange for your investing in what will be the greatest manufacturing power the world has ever known, we're going to regain that. I'm going to fix taxes, I'm going to improve the regulatory environment that speaks to certainty, and I'm going to move us toward greater energy independence. That's what I'm going to do for you. I don't think you'd have one CEO that would leave such a meeting and say, I think I'll go to Brazil. I think they would all give the benefit of the doubt to the American marketplace. So can we recreate a manufacturing miracle in this? Absolutely we can. We just need policies that speak to a more competitive environment, and a president who can connect with the business community and say, folks, first and foremost, we're going to get back on our feet. That would be what is needed to create get over the psychological barrier. Dollars would flow into the marketplace, companies would begin hiring again, and we'd be after the races. Totally doable, but we need somebody who understands the marketplace, someone who's been in private enterprise, someone who's been a governor who actually took their state to #1 in terms of job creation, and I think someone who understands the world for what it is. I've lived overseas 4 times. I've been an ambassador for my country 3 times. I know our position in the world in the 2nd decade of the 21st century. I know what our leading competitor countries are doing educationally and economically to prepare for the future. We've got some work cut out for us.
Last week you had Anita Perry, wife of Governor Rick Perry, talk about how her husband's been getting beaten up a lot, she feels like, because of his deep faith, that he's too religious. You're a member of the Mormon faith, as is Governor Romney. How much of a consideration do you think someone's religion should be in this conversation when we talk about the candidacy of President of the United States? I
think very little. I mean, some people wear religion on their sleeve. I wear it in my heart. It's a personal thing. I think the voting public wants to know that you believe in something bigger than self. I'm not sure they want to go much beyond that. They just want to know that you believe in something bigger than self, and that you're a good, productive, contributing member of society. You're raising a good family, which I have taken as responsibility #1 for me. And beyond that, fix the economy. Fix our position, secure it in the world today, create jobs, and improve our schools. You know, when I was governor, nobody ever asked me about religion after I was elected. Nobody asked me about a lot of the social issues. All they wanted to know was, what's the unemployment? What are you going to do to create jobs in our neighborhood? What are you going to do to pay the bills and expand educational opportunities for our young people? That's it. That's the bottom line.
We have about 3 minutes left, and obviously Mitt Romney is the leader in the polls up here. What do you see as his Achilles heel as we move forward? Because you said not too long ago that you believe that New Hampshire is very winnable for you, and you plan to win.
Authenticity. The people of New Hampshire, Josh, they don't want to be told for whom to vote. They want the candidates to earn it based upon authenticity, based upon where they have been, what they have done, and what they want for this country.
In what areas do you think Governor Romney lacks that?
Well, I think when you've been on all sides of the issues during the course of your career, when you ran as a liberal to begin with, then you ran as a moderate, then you ran as a conservative most recently, people begin to wonder where on earth you fall on the major issues of the day and what that means in terms of longer-term leadership. So I go in front of groups here and I say, I know I'm not going to get all your vote, but I'm not going to pander. And I'm not going to sign pledges like every other candidate has done. And I'm not going to make a sojourn to New York to meet with Donald Trump. There are just some things I'm not going to do. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to talk about the issues that I understand and that I've dealt with as governor and as a businessman and overseas. And I'm going to put forth realistic ideas that I think are workable and doable and good for this country. If you like them, great. Get on board. If you don't, there are alternatives in the race, but I want to be straight up and honest with people about where I think this country is.
And we have about a minute left. You're spending a lot of time as New Hampshire, we've said multiple times over the last couple of minutes. What are people going to learn, though, about Jon Huntsman as we really start to get to know you? Because you're not going anywhere and you're going to be talking to a lot of voters.
They're going to learn that we're honest and forthright, that we speak from experience, and that at the end of the day, I've got a great family because my wife, Mary Kay, is here. I've got 3 daughters on the campaign trail, and they're going to meet them as well.
What do they think about all this?
They love it.
Do they?
And I tell people in town hall meetings, if you can't find anything to like about me, you'll find something to like about my wife, Mary Kay. And if you can't find something to like about her, you're crazy.
Okay. Well, best of luck to you moving forward.
Josh,
thanks very much, Governor.
I appreciate it. Thank
you.
Hope
you have you back on the program sometime soon.
Indeed. We'll do it.
All right. Thanks very much. When we come back, we're going to hear from Herman Cain and Newt Gingrich as well. Then a little bit later on, former Congressman Dick Swett sizes up the potential Democratic field for governor, also explains what he's been